भगवत्पादाचार्योऽभ्यो नमो नमः। नारायण परिपूर्ण गुणार्णवाय विश्वोदयस्थितितो लयन् नियतिप्रदाय ज्ञानप्रदाय विबुधासुरसौख्य दुःख सत्कारणाय विददाय नमो नमस्ते। यो विप्रलिम्ब विपरीतमतिप्रबोधान् वादान् निरस्य कृतवान् भुवितत्ववादं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरीति प्रतिपादकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहैः तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहैः। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends, as we have embarked upon this Kathopanishad, and with regard to the second boon he is asking for is the Nachiketa Agni, because which we were talking recently about that, and we are also going to see very much in detail what is this Agni about, why it is being talked about and all. So in the entire, the life, there are three things, we will have to be observing. One is, normally we are told, we have got Purushartha, that is Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Artha and Kama comes in between. After Artha and Kama, if it is properly handled, then you will get Dharma. Though Dharma comes first, because it should be the guideline. All through whatever you are getting Purushartha, Dharma should be there in everything. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. All the three will be there. But under Artha and Kama, very often they will not allow you to follow the Dharma. That is why even when you get the Artha and Kama, Kama is nothing but desire. Desires, thoughts which comes about. Not necessarily lust. It is being used as a lust as a reference also. But it is anything that comes about a desire for anything, because our forefathers didn't have so many desires, because so many things were not available to them. They were not able to see, nor they were contented with whatever simple life they were leading and all. So therefore that gives, because what happens, when you get the desire or artha and all, it gives to the dehavimanam, whatever is, comfortable to your body, you want it. So whenever you need anything, for your artha and kama, it is not only you, someone else is also involved. If you are doing a business, or if you are doing a profession, or if you are doing anything else also, it needs more than one human being to get the benefit of it. Artha and Kama doesn't, you can't silently sit in and do the Artha and Kama. It's not possible. You will have to do some activity. From that activity, you will have to get that entire benefit of it. You will have to do it. So when you are doing, when the Dehabhimana, whatever you are doing is that you will have to follow with the Dharma, whatever is the principle at that point of time, with the highest principle, Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha. Because this is what, everyone, all the religions across, they have taken it. So then once it have taken, and you follow that, you get that. And then next one is Upasana. Upasana, why it is Upasana is to get the, how, whatever you are trying to do, the Upasana when you are doing, you are trying to offer, even the Naivedyam to the God, or to the power, whom you think, whoever be your God, you offer, and then you take it, even anything and all. So when you take it, because it gets sanctified. Anything you offer first to the power, you may be the power that is giving you the enough skill to live in this world. When you give it, it gets sanctified. That sanctified, when you take it, it becomes really the energy into you. It doesn't become an energy, because when you take everything available, whatever comes that you like it, it never becomes energy. The energy that becomes when you get it sanctified. How do you get it sanctified? When you are getting it sanctified, you are just offering to someone, because even a poor man, you are doing a service, you are offering to a poor, and then you are taking it, that itself, is something sanctified. So when you have, your mental sort of, when the mental environment is such, you are always trying to do what we were calling about Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma, you also get the benefit, but you are not purposely doing for it yourself. When you are offering, God is not going to take it. For instance, we have got all this, the Ganesh Chaturthi is there everywhere in the street corners, you've got all the Ganeshas are there. When you are giving, offering, you are, whenever you see, just stand by and take our chapel and, just close your hands and just pray it and go, that's all. But Ganesha doesn't get all those things. He is there. So many people, hundreds and thousands of people are there. For you, you are getting it. It makes you something, because you are getting the benefit of it. Look, Krishna, I have offered, but because whatever benefit it is there, at least for a moment, it takes you away from the normal thought, in which you are indulging into this world. You are totally immersed into something which you are going to do in this world. So that is what the dharma is. When you are more, you are able to take away from yourself. But when you are doing it as a duty, you cannot be procrastinating. That we have very, very clearly said. In all the Upanishad, very clearly said, there is no procrastination possible at all. You can't do it. It is a sin. To procrastinate, not to do any action is a sin. So therefore you will have to do it. So then you do the upasana. Upasana is not necessarily yaga, yajna, puja and all. Even when you are doing anything, with a service to someone, with someone's benefit, but incidentally you may also be getting it. That's not the problem. When you are doing it, so that becomes the upasana. So dharma, upasana, and when the dharma upasana you do it, you antakarana suddhi, what they call. Because inside the heart, when you are getting, you are creating a pedestal. When you are doing that, how that pedestal is going to be created, that's what we will be going to see. I'm just giving this preamble, because just to understand that. So once you have it, that one antakarana suddhi is there, you are doing what they call in Hindi nirman. You are creating the pedestal to get the highest knowledge. As you bring the antakarana suddhi goes to the extent, highest level, what happens is then you get into the adhyatma. Adhyatma is you become capable of getting the knowledge. Even someone gives you the knowledge, maybe you are listening to some great, the pravachanas, like anyway, Velukudi or someone, who is doing some scriptures, a lot of people are there. All great people they are talking about, the Acharya is talking about. When your ability to absorb, your yogyata to absorb comes only when you have the antakarana suddhi. The antakarana suddhi, not necessarily you will have to do every day in set up the go to your puja room and do it all. So when you go to puja room, what you do every day, you clean it, you just keep it properly, you offer flowers, everything and all. Likewise, you have to do your mind also. So when your mind is clean, then it becomes capable of getting whatever is the knowledge for your benefit to go about. That is what exactly happens. For instance, a couple of days before, because I am in, because the place where I am living in Madurai, it is little outskirts. It's neither a hamlet nor a sort of, the outskirts of a city. It's a delightful mix of both. In the end of the road, because where I am living, because where our house is there, it is a well-formed road. At the end of the road, there is a church. St. Andrew's Church is there. The St. Andrew's Church, whether there's rain or shine or whatever it may be, the bell will be going on every hour, day or night. It will be, the gong will be there to remind you the time is just passed by an hour or so. So you can hear it in the night also. It is like that. It's a wonderful setting there. They do have their masses, on Sundays and all those things. So to that church, because some nuns, some sisters come from abroad, because maybe they have, because periodically they come here, to sort of train these people and all that. Whenever I see them, because morning I used to go for a walk, 6:30 to quarter to 7, I go for a walk. And when I go for that, because when the diffusing sun, just rising sun, you see these sisters and nuns in the pure white. They are totally dedicated. They are just passing, they are just going to the church, or, because they have got a small place where they are living, because it's very beautifully named. It's called Merciful Love. Beautifully named. And I see a 80-year-old sister, she must have been from some European country, and a couple of them are there. They are dedicatedly, they do everything, themselves. They don't involve, they don't talk anything and simply they are concentrating on what they are doing. Whenever I used to pass by, if they happen to see, I just say good morning to them and they also give it back. But the dedication, the sheer, because the total service oriented attitude what they have is something to be admired at. So every time when say when I was going through, I was just missing, someone was going in front of me, with that white robes and all. I thought, it's good that, if I had at least gone in front of them, I would have wished them and gone. And anyway, it's good sign, morning is wonderful and all. It's a small, quite a breeze was there. But as I turned, this old lady was, she was also a nun. She was also going towards the church. She wished me and all. So it was wonderful. I think they are totally dedicated. They are not bothered about it. They are just going about their job as it is. That is Antakarana Suddhi. See, Antakarana Suddhi, you don't have to see and go to the scripture because people are demonstrating it. Because there are certain temples, and I know in temples, they have been, doing puja for years there. They have been like that whenever I have gone as a boy, and even now, they have got the same attitude towards everyone. But they continuously be doing, whatever they are doing it in our own temples there. So likewise, that is when you are doing it as a dedication, and when you are doing it as a full-fledged concentration, and you don't leave anything to chance. They do it so perfectly. Even something is kept out of place, they do it. That is where the Antakarana Suddhi comes. So like we are able to place our thoughts, like we are able to place our entire, because the action based on the thoughts, when we do that, then we are doing that Antakarana Suddhi, or we are building it. When Adhyatma, when it goes, then you are capable of listening to that. Once you are totally dedicated, like Nachiketa, when he has not taken, even whatever has been offered as a Atithi, and he didn't take it, because not that, he could have just, see, for us, Bhoga is easiest thing, for the Deha. The Deha is very much, it is very happy with whatever Bhoga you have, if you allow it to have its way. But if you are working on some concentrated like these nuns, sisters, who are totally, because they are not bothered, they don't even see, this side or that side. Like a blinkers, they are just concentrating on what they are doing it. Once you do that, that is the steadfast dedication. The Nachiketa is having that steadfast dedication. He is not wind away by anything that the distractions that is coming about and all. So it is in this context only, we saw this particular, just to recap, you don't have to go to the sloka, it is 1.1.12. Swarge loke na bhayam kincha nasti, na tatram, na tatratvam, na jaraya bibeti, na tatratvam, na jaraya bibeti, in the sense you are not there and you are not getting any old age or disease and all of that. Because entire human beings, what are we concerned about in the looking after the one? One is the old age and the disease free. Disease free old age. Disease free old age is because you want to have an insurance in place, and you have got because the post retirement medical benefits are available, because these are all the, we have all these lot of guards, we want all these guards, then mentally psychologically we are happy with it. So these are all the things which is not required, because when you don't have a required, that becomes a surga. When you are not concerned, because whether you are getting old, whether you are getting old or whether you are getting a gray hair, whether you are getting a drooping mustache, or you are having a bend, if you are not bothered about, and I think, it is not going to be any matter at all. But if you are bothering about, see, old age, who will look after? Because you have, because my father was old or my uncle was old, his sons were abroad, no, they couldn't. Because you are trying to impute yourself, you are trying to place yourself in their position and do it. But if you don't bother about it, nothing will happen, because you are always with someone. Someone is there inside you. That is why you are able to get through that. Because, for instance, just it's the time to recollect, the first Mangalacharana. what we recited, because the Mangalacharana and that is always important for every Upanishad. We have been going by that. Here also we had a Mangalacharana. Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Sarvataha Paramayate. Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Sarvataha Paramayate. You are the one who is doing everything, getting it done, and you are the cause for doing it. Nimitta Karana. Without you, nothing will be happening. Sarvaprani Hirdistaya Vamanaya Namo Namaha. This is what the Mangalacharanam, because for this Mangalacharanam has been written by Sri Madhvacharya. Others have given a brief note, because this is the full-fledged Mangalacharanam for every Upanishad. Sri Madhvacharya has made it a point to write. Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Sarvatah Paramayate Sarvaprani Hitisthaya Vamanaya Namo Namaha. Sarvaprani Hitisthaya, in the sense who is there in the cave of your heart, the internal kernel of your heart, in the heart of hearts, what we call, who is there and all. See, in fact, in Shastra, Veda, there is imputation. Whenever you see how you experience the world, first you are able to see something from your eyes. In Kathopanishad, we said what you are seeing is not what exactly, that is something different. Na satchur gacchati, that's what we have said. But then, for you to first to know, even read a book or look at a guru, look at a guru, what first you see with your eyes. The Vamana is supposed to be the one who is controlling the very first sight, because Vama is Saundarya, the beauty of the world, the beauty of the knowledge, the entire thing what you are taking out in this world. Vama is, that is the meaning. Vamana Avatara is considered to be the Saundarya, in the sense he is a dwarf. Finally, Ulagadala Perumal, he gets into the entire thing and all. He gets into as a magnificent, multitude of the proportions. So my mother, she has to do the cooking, in between, she has to use it, and I am just close by, so I am just, and she doesn't want anyone to cook, even she is 90, going to be completing 90. She doesn't want anyone else to cook, and she doesn't want, she says, they don't know how to do it, so she wants to do it herself. So that's why, this is happening. So when you are, he is the one who is Saundarya, he gives that. That is why Madhvacharya, he said, it is the Vamana is supposed to be the god for this. We will also see elsewhere, in another Valli it will come. The Vamana is the one finally is considered to be the entire, Devata for this one. Yama is the Rishi for this, because Yama is the one who is giving the knowledge. Since Nachiketa is the Sishya who is also getting, and who becomes sort of a enlightened person, he is considered to be the second Rishi after Yama for this particular Upanishad. Anushtup is the meter in which, all these mantras have been written. 32 letters of 4 padas, 4 into 8. 4 into 8 is 32. That letters is the pada. That is because as a sort of a convention, whenever we read any scripture, we are supposed to know who is the Devata and what is the Chandas and who is the Rishi. Because the three are supposed to be, all the three are supposed to be invoked first and then get into that to get the full knowledge of that. And without, if you don't do that, because you will get, you will not be able to get full knowledge, and all that exposition is there in Vedas. So that is how in Vamana when it is said, and because here it is said, it is a simple thing, through that you are getting it, and finally it has to go to your Hridaya Akasha. Because when you have done Hridayagate, because when you go into that, you get to the Antakarana Suddhi. This is exactly. This is for Swarge, Loke, Na Bayam, Kinchanasti, Na Tvam, Na Jaraya Vibeti, Na Tatratvam, Na Jaya Vibeti. Na Tatratvam, one word which we have used here. It has got a purpose, though we elaborated a bit. I will try to give the na from here does mean na tatra manmantre kala paryantam mrityur iti artaha. For one manmantra, say there is a krama mukti is there. Mukti is not that you just do punya and after that everyone does all the rituals for you. You do you get the mukti. You don't go to the Swarga, and from there Swarga you go to the Brahma Loka, Vishnu Loka, which we described. It doesn't happen like that. There is a Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti in the sense you will be watched, you will be sort of seen, whether you are capable to be taken to the highest level of elevation, Mukti and all. For that you are supposed to be staying in Swarga, where in ordinary being you will be coming back after Punya is exhausted. Whereas you are Mukti Swarupa, you will be there for one mantra. During that one mantra, Yama will not have anything to do with you. He will not be able to control you. In other cases, he will be controlling. So this Nachiketa Agni, why he is trying to his Swargeya Agni, because Nachiketa Agni it has not become. We will see the Swargeya Agni. Why he wants to do is once you do that, then you get into the status even after one manvantara period. One manvantara period is in human years it is 30 crores, 85 lakhs, 71,428 years, 25 days, 17 hours and 21 galigas, naliga. This is exact description of a manvantara. Because manvantara just as a concept we will tell, because I will just post a separate one to know the kala nirnaya in Sanatana Dharma, how it is. Dvitiya Pararte, when we say, Adya Brahma Dvitiya Pararte, we say, the 12 hours of Brahma is one Prarartha. In the 12 hours of Brahma, there are 14 Manvantras are there. We are in a Vaivastha Manvantara. Vaivastha Manvantara is one, then next is Suvarni, one Manvantara is there. There are names are there that we will see later, because we will get into that. So in this Manvantara, his 432 years is the year of one day of Brahma. So it goes like that. From there, because the 14 Manvantras, they have got to be there, for the 12 hours of Brahma. In one Manvantara for period is the 30 lakhs 85,000, 30 crores 85 lakhs 71,428 years, 25 days, 17 hours, 21 galigas, naligan. That is exact period you are supposed to be there. So all these things, when it is being said, we should not be, see, basically if human mind is, it is that, because there's no point in thinking about that, because we can't even think of what is so many crores of years of existence and all. It is not that. So when we say in Krita Yuga, the people lived for about, the 60,000 years, and Treta Yuga, they were there for 12,000, 15,000 years. And Dwapara Yuga, they were about 800, 900 years. It started coming down. As the Yuga went down, the human being started, the entire, the mind became degenerated, it slowly came down. In Kali Yuga, the maximum is supposed to be 100 years. But basically the concept is when we are taking the breath, when you are perhaps, per day, you are supposed to be taking about 21,000 and odd, because these cycles are there. That cycles, they were having kumbhaka. Because of that, even though the existence total period may be appearing to be large, because their breath cycle was so small, I think they were able to live longer. Because our breath cycle is, we have got some pearls, 72 or 80 that is there, and we have breathing cycle is there. Their breathing cycle was much elongated. So they were able to live for long. That is the only meaning. It's not that they have been given a separate boon or anything like that. Because everyone had a self-control. Everyone was a yogi. Because here now we are mostly bogis. By chance, if it is an opportunity, we become a yogi. And to the extent whatever yoga which is being taught to us, and why we do yoga? If you do yoga, your spondylitis will be cured and your leg pain will go. But yoga should not be done like that. Yoga is, you have to, it is a union with the life force, life energy. Yoga is union of yours with that life energy. That is yoga. But we do the yogas for the purposes of attending to various ailment what we think we have that will be cured. That will not be the yoga. So that is how it has come. When it has come, Swarga, when you don't have it, when you don't think that your old age is going to be sort of it's not going to be miserable, and you are, even if you have some ailments, body will have it, that you will see, because as they say, the pain is the suffering is, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The pain will come to everything, even the animals have pain because they don't go to vet doesn't come and see every animal, so they get themselves cured. But even in my backyard, here there is one small plant is called, which is called Kuppameni. Kuppameni, I think there it's being cut and thrown out, it's being weeded out. But in those early days in our villages, that Kuppameni is the one, which you just take it out and just pound it, and finally you just apply it to any of the wounds, it will go off. There was no, your creams were not there, nothing was there, but it is more effective. But it will be just, it will be burning like anything when they apply it. We have all got through. It is like that. So people do get it. Once you don't have any fear, when you don't think that is, then that is a Swarga. Here basically, figuratively they give, because when Nachiketa says, he wants that type of attitude, though he is having it, he is an introvert, he is totally focused on what is he wanting. Upatirtva Anshaya Pipase, Ashnaya Pipase, because Upatirtva, because they have gone past, all this entire hunger and thirst. And so, because these are all the ones, which is holding up, the man, to get out of his, the cage, get into the, what you call Antakarana, the Nirmana, Antakarana Suddhi, because that it happens. Once you have it, Shokadikam, but once there is no Shoka, then when there is no Shokadikam, when you have pan past the Modate, you rejoice. In the sense, there is nothing to be worried about. When you don't, nothing has to be worried about, you are in a blissful state. Not that you have to get some good news to be sort of jumping around and all. You don't have, when you don't have any suffering, you are happy, contented with what you are having without any of Bhuta, Bhavishya, Vartamana, because you don't have any of the sort of, the angularities of suffering in your mind. That becomes a Swarga. That is exactly what is being talked about. So when you get into that state also, when you are continuously being, bombarded, with your prarabdha karma, it is quite possible after your punyas are exhausted, since you have some prarabdha karma, you have to come back. But once you go past your prarabdha karma, when you don't have that agami karma is accumulating further karmas, then it is there for one mantra period. You are supposed to be there, in the sense, one mantra period you will be in the bliss. After that, you will not have, since you don't have any agami karma at all, that there is, your possibility of coming into this world doesn't happen at all. See, as per the philosophy, when you are coming into this world, the very reason for your coming into this world is avidya. You got about the unfulfilled desires. So in Gita, there is one particular sloka is there. You have to think of the greatest things, the greatest bliss. The greatest bliss is nothing but, the Almighty's name you should think, at the last moment, so that, you don't have any rebirth. That's what they say. The Krishna is very, very clever man. Why did he say that? You never know when is your last moment. So you have to continuously do that. So if you know my 2045, August 22nd is that, then I will let me go and see and all. Because see, this attitude has been taken away by Upanishad in various ways. In Kathopanishad also we have seen, when they have said, Kathopanishad, I think if you just recall, at least I will bring it to your notice what we have seen there and all. In Kathopanishad, we used to say that, okay, if you are going to have a rebirth, why should you do all the punyas right now? You got some more births, you might do it. So this is what exactly happened. Someone asked to an acharya, why are you asking us to do all these things, suffering and all? Theek hai, whatever is available, we have come here. Like everyone else, we live Charavaka, because look after ourselves. Go, and another birth is there, we will take care of. But you are not sure whether in the another birth you will be having this Manushya Janma, Durlabham Manushya Janmanam. This is, because it doesn't leave. Like Vivek Chudamani, Shankaracharya points out in the very second or third mantra, it's Durlabham Manusya Janmana. What you got is after so many efforts. So that is why, because Kathopanishad, you said, they said, Igacheti Vedita Satyam Asti. Iganachet Vedita Mahati Vinashti. It is a catastrophe. That is what they said. It's not that you can postpone it. There is nothing to be postponed. But the thing is, once you realize, yes, this is it, because it's basically making you be blissful. Why are you unnecessarily accumulating all sorrows around you? And why you are going to get into all those things and all? Because this is exactly, he gave the Pritika for his second boon to Nachiketas, this Yama. Nachiketas said, this is what we saw it in detail. And then Yama then answered to him, yes, I will do that. This is 1.1.13, 1.1.14, if you can see, 1.1.13 also we have said, Satvam Agnim Swargam Adyeshi Mrityo. Because 1.1.3, he also said, see, Satvam Agnim Swargam Adyeshi Mrityo. Because Mrityo, you are the one who is repository of the knowledge. Swargam Agni in the sense, Swargiya Agni is the method of the Upasana, which is required to keep. Why it is required? Antakarana Suddhi. So why? Because why we are talking about the Upasana is required for Antakarana Suddhi. I will try to narrate a small anecdote from the scriptures only. Parasurama is an avatara. He was just annihilating all the Kshatriyas. So 21 lineage of Kshatriyas he did. He just eliminated them. Because that was his vow. He is also supposed to be avatar of Vishnu. Let's not forget that. Because he has come for that particular purpose at that point of time. Finally, the greatest, Ramayana, where the two avatars came across, like Parasurama and Rama, when they came, after he has just broken the Shiv Dhanush and to get the hand of Sita, when he was coming out, Parasurama came and confronted him because Rama is a Kshatriya and he was having Vishnu Dhanush. He said, you are a great, you showed your valor, in the court of Janaka and you have just broken the Shiv Dhanush. This Vishnu Dhanush is there. What if, because why don't you attempt it? But as even before he could finish, Rama just with his fingertips, he has just lifted that Vishnu Dhanush. So then only Parasurama realized, Rama, of course, they must be but he came to know in the Vishnu Avatara, as a Vishnu Avatara, he has come as a Rama into the Treta Yuga. So then he got, having taken Avatara, Purna Avatara, see, Parasurama has to complete his Avatara. So he got dejected. I came for a purpose. Finally, I have been just look like a child in front of Rama, because, he just lifted the Vishnu Dhanush with his just fingertips. So then he went to the mountains, Malaya mountain, because that's what the scripture says. This is coming in a scripture called Tripura Rahasya. Tripura Rahasya is a very famous scripture, most often quoted in Advaita stream, because it has a lot of Advaita concepts also. In Tripura Rahasya, when he went there, he went and Malaya, that Parvata, when he went there, he saw a rishi. And he was just looking some penance, and he was just keeping himself quiet, and he was just looking at the waters doing penance. And he went to him. His entire mood changed. In front of him, Parasurama was all bliss. He was totally agitated. How come 21 lineages I have finished? Because in the 22nd lineage, Rama, of course, he knows he is an avatar. In front of him, he couldn't do further. And he just picked up the Dhanush just like that, like a child's play. So when he went to that, he asked that Rishi, I think, what is that? And how come you are having wonderful bliss, which possibly eluding everyone? And he said, you go to my Guruji and he will tell you. So he sent to him. Who is that Guruji? He is again a Dattatreya. Dattatreya is also again Avatara. Dattatreya, when you go Raichur, there is a temple. Dattatreya is a very, very famous, for entire yogic, because Guru is like a Datta, because even Raghavendra Vijayam, Dattayeva Guru. That is what Raghavendra is being sort of described. It is like Datta. Dattatreya is the highest Guru, or highest tapas, highest yogi. So you go to him, and Parasurama went to him. Parasurama went to him and asked him, before he could tell anything, what is the sadhana I should do? Yes, yes, you should do your sadhana. And immediately he picked up, asked him to pick up some stone, by that, and you take, because this is a Tripura, you will have to do all the upasanas for this. And he continuously do, and you will get it that and all. So he took that Tripura, because that stone which is supposed to be Tripura, he did all the upasanas. He did Abhishekam, because with the Jala and as well as hot water, Madhuvarga, everything he did, and he went on, did for 12 years, Parasurama. After doing that, one day he was thinking, what is the 12 years I have been doing? After this, still I don't, whereas that Rishi, that first he met that Muni, he said he was gay abandoned, bliss abandoned, he was not having anything at all, he was sitting there, but he only directed me when he came, because Parasurama asked the first question, what is the sadhana I should do? So that Dattatreya said, you do this sadhana. So when he went to that Dattatreya, look, 12 years I have been doing like this, day on and day off, nothing is there any purpose? And then now he said, now you got the Antakarana Suddhi. Now your Adhyatma knowledge will be coming. Now you are the right time for you to get the Tripura Rahasya. He gives the Rahasya, finally he gets that. In a way it is like that, whenever we have our mental attitude itself, we do it. Swargam Agni, because when we say Swargam Agni, because it's not necessary you will have to gather everything and do it, because there is a procedure to do it. For using, for doing yajna, there is a procedure. When the yajna procedure, even if you falter a bit, you are supposed to be having the ill effects of it, or you will not be getting the good effects of it. That is true. Because that is physically when you are doing, because what does it say? You will have to concentrate on that. You can't cut corners. Will you be cutting corners when you are putting up a nuclear power plant? When the heavy water circulation is there, will you be trying to cut corners somewhere? And you will not be doing it. It's disastrous. So you have to take that skill, attention, everything, focus, everything should be there. This is what exactly Nachiketa is telling us again and again in all various variety of form. Swagni Prabhuhi Tvam Shraddha Anaya Mahakyam, because I am just having same Shraddha. So with the same Shraddha, when you do it, with the skill, attention, focus, you do it, you will get that. And he tells, because he declares, even though he is an introvert, he wants everyone to know by his attitude itself. But he tells himself, because I am so committed, in the sense I don't want anything more than that. I don't want anything other than the knowledge. I don't want, you don't give me, this and that, you give me the great land, you become a king and all, nothing. I don't want any of the boons. I want this. You want to make sure so that you can elicit. He wants to, because Yama is also very, very sort of a skillful person. He can just test your waters. If you are capable of getting something, small, he will give it to you. With that, you get done away with it. Because every human being wants a good house, Gadi, Bangla, this and that, that's what you want. You give that. If you are happy with, go ahead. Because he doesn't give it so easily, because it is the very, very rarest vidya. Anyone who is capable of getting it, you should have so much of Antakarana Suddhi. And you should be able to get that, and you are capable of getting that, and for them only he will be able to. It is a rare one. He has not so far given to anyone. That is not said in the Upanishad, that is very much obvious. He said why that he wants it. Swargye loka amrtatvam bhajanta. We said what amrtatvam? There is no mrityu. There is no mrityu in the sense, there is no mrityu for your bliss. There is no mrityu for your deha. There is no mrityu for the highest knowledge. Amrtatvam, amrtu. Amrityu, amrtva. Amrtatvam bhajante. Etad dvitiyena vrine varena. This is what he wanted that. With all his dedication, he said focused on it. The third one we saw it, because this is where the Yama is offering we saw it very briefly. last week. Prate bravimi tadume nibota swargam agnim nachiketah prajanan. This is what he says. He is also giving a lot of conditionalities. When we have seen prate bravimi, prate in the sense it is a sort of prize and always Prabhu. When we say Prabhu is the highest because it is a sort of upasarga just to highlight dirga. Prabhu is the Brahman. The Brahman is the Prabhu. Pra is the one which is, and others can't reach that level at all. Because how Brahman can be described, because we have seen in various Upanishads. And in fact, Isavasya Upanishad only, because it has given a couple of mantras where the Brahman has been Sapargayat, Chukram, Akayam, Avranam, Asnaviram, Suddham, Apapa Viddham. Sapargayat, Chukram, because there is no question of shoka at all. Ashoka. Chukram in the sense there is no possibility of getting any chukra. Yeah, Sapargayat, Chukram, Akayam, he doesn't have a body like us. So it doesn't mean he is a nirguna. He is a guna paripurna. Akayam, Avranam, you can't be limiting him. See why Advaita always focusing on Nirguna Brahman is a human mind, when you say Saguna Brahman, you will try to delineate, because of the framework. You will try to limit. When you are trying to limit the figuratively, when you are trying to limit the Brahman, you will also be trying to figuratively limit the powers, because you think he is like you. That is why Virat Swarupa, when you say, because they have taken the Virat, when he said, Vishwarupa, when he takes it in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that is his real Swarupa, that you cannot be, because your eyes will not be able to see. It is beyond your eyes. It is million suns glowing together and dazzling. You will not be able to take the same thing, because Oppenheimer has just expressed the 11th chapter. He is a Sanskrit scholar, let us understand. He is a German Sanskrit scholar. He quoted the same verse when the first atom bomb was exploded in Nagasaki. He exploded, says he quoted the same thing. It is like million suns blazing together. It is that you cannot be explaining. But when you take Saguna Brahma, is a Guna Paripurna, because that is why it is always said you will not be able to comprehend Brahman. You will not be able to know everything about Brahman. But you will only be able to apprehend a small portion, small, like a lightning. Maybe, you will get, once in a while, because all acharyas got like that only. Because that lightning, the flash that comes in your mind, that is really the Brahman. You cannot get more than that. So this is exactly prate, bravimi. Because when he says, the Yama says prate, because it's such a high thing, prate, you please be aware. He is so high. Bravimi, I will try to tell you, because I know whatever I am knowing, I will try to tell, anything, without leaving anything to chance. I can explain. And he emphasizes that you should have the capacity to understand and assimilate. I will tell. Bravimi. Niboda, bravimi, tadume, niboda. Niboda, I will tell, in full detail, understand, with the concentrated mind, focus. Nibodaha. Bodaha is, I am telling Boda, because Bodhikirti. Niboda is a Nischai Bodaha. Once he says, you should be able to definitely get it. Nibodaha. Nibodaha. Nachiketa, Swargam Agnim, Nachiketa Prajanan. He says, you have got the ability to understand Prajanan. Prajanan is you are not an ordinary being. You are steadfast on that. You will be able to get that. Ananta Lokaptyo Pratishtam. Next line. Ananta Lokapti Mato Pratishtam. Ananta Lokapti. In the sense, Ananta Lokapti Vishnu Lokasya Aptim Sadhana. That is what the explanation given is Ananta Lokapti, where it is endless world, where it is the repository of entire, which is the focus of for the entire universe, entire beings, entire the cosmos, everything. He is the focus for that. That is Ananta Lokapti when you are getting it, because that is why that one Manvantara period you are supposed to be in Krama Mukti. For that you are supposed to be there in the Swarga. When you are doing that, what is finally you come Ananta Lokapti. Pramato Pratishtam. Because when you are finally getting it, that is the final. Pratishtam in the sense where finally gets embedded, the knowledge gets embedded into you, and also means he is the one who is the authority, who is the Pratishta for the entire cosmos, universe, and everything. To know, understand him, you will get that. Viddihi. Viddihi in the sense you are trying to understand and keep it. Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. Nitidhyasana, having it embedded into your being totally, in your chitta totally, so that you are able to be part of it. It becomes a sort of vibration into you continuously. Vididva, Tvam Yeta Nihitam. Tvam Eva Nihitam in the sense in your heart, it becomes a sort of a resident in you. In your chitta, it becomes resident in you. Nihitam Ghayam. Ghayam in the sense, in the heart, where there is Adho where there's, Adho where he is there, in the lotus, in a small point. Sushmitam, where it is a very small point, where it is a Sushmitam, Srushtam, where your Bhagavan residing in you, in every being, not only is every being, you are able to get, and it is permanent in you. It will not go off. Guhayam, this is what he says, and he gives it to you. So it is basically what he has done is you have to take yourself to that level and keep yourself devoid of anything else, totally focusing on it. He does it. And Nachiketa does it. How he does it? Because he is totally prepared. He has come only for that purpose. He doesn't want anything else. 1.1.15, we will go to that. Lokatim Agnim Tamuvacha Tasmaya Ishtaka Yavatir Yatava. Yavatirva Yatava. Lokatim Agnim Tamuvacha Tasmaya Ishtaka Yavatirva Yatava. So when he said Lokatim Agnim, this Agnim, which Upasana, what I am told you, and what you have heard from me, Tasmaya Ishtaka. Ishtaka in the sense, when you are doing a yajna, because you might have seen this yajna, there is an yajna which is being normally done, in the month of immediately after the Makara Sankranti. Lot of yajnas are being. See, Makara Sankranti, when you say, because when you do Nama Sakastram, it has come from one Brahma Sakastram. It is about 1000 mantras are there. 1000 mantras are 36 Vyanjanas and 36,000, because we have explained earlier how it becomes the Vishnu Sahasranamam and how it has come about. When you are doing that yajna, you have to use 360 bricks of different, because same size with a different combination you will have to do it. When you do it, you will be doing it in the form of Garuda. Because this yajna, I think you might have seen, in most of the places it must be happening. Normally in the, after Makara Sankranti, it is being performed in a lot of places. Like in South also, in Chennai and all places, down South also it is being done. There is a particular way you have to keep the bricks, 360 bricks. 360 bricks represent 360 days. So in Aitreya Upanishad, the number given is 1080. 3 into, because 3 night, 3 ratre, we said 3 into 360, 1080. You have to take so many bricks, you have to arrange in exactly that way, it looks like a Garuda. In that, the Homakundam will be made in that form. And in that, you have to give the Ahuti. When you are giving the Ahuti, the Samvit, because what we Savit, you have to take it, from particular tree, from particular place, arrange it and do it. It is the physical way of doing it. When you are doing finally, that is the Nachiketa Agni, when you get Swargiya Agni, when you have to do that, 360 bricks of 1 degree each. 360 degree is a cycle. In each brick is placed in 1 degree. And when it is 1080, it is 20 minutes, 1/3 of that, because they say. There is a huge calculation. You will have to do that. And then, you have got this Argya, because that through the Savit itself, you have to create the fire. Not by, because getting your matchbox and all. There will be a particular Savit is there. You have to take that Savit and you will have to place one upon the other and do it, and the Agni that is coming out, that will have to be done. If it is being done in places like Ahobilam, in Haridwar, Rishikesh and all, because these things are taking place. periodically, because when they have to do it for Loka Kalyan, when it is being taking place. You will have to do that, you have to do everything, follow it. And he has detailed it. Nibodhita, when he said, he has given it in very many detail. And Nachiketa being Prajanan, he has taken everything together. And he has not missed even a single point. It is like building a big nuclear plant, because there will be too many drawings and too many specs are there. When someone tells you, you should be able to know everything like that. It is like that. Nachiketa has absorbed everything to that point without even a small dot being missed. He has got so much of focus. Mukhadim agnim yavatitva yatava. Because chathapi, when he has said, tat pratyat chokta, this is what? Sa chopping. Because this is exactly the 1.1.13, we are into that. Swarge loka amrtatvam bhajante prate bravimi tadyu me nibodaha swargem agnim nachiketa prajanan. Once you have got that, ananta lokaptim ato pratishtam vidyitvam yetam nihitam guhayam. Once you are trying to get into that, get into your heart of hearts, in your chitta, which Nachiketa does it. Lokadim agnim tamuvacha tasmai ya ishtaka. Ishtaka is the brick. Ishtaka is named as a brick, and it's also called Devata. So there are so many Devatas which is represented in Veda, but all the Devatas finally, etymologically, they mean finally the Brahman, the Hari. Because even in the all the three streams, Advaita, Visishtadvaita and Dvaita, the final, the goal, Brahman, is supposed to be Narayana. Narayana is a concept. Narayana, final goal, what you will be having. When Shankaracharya in Gita Bhashyam, when he says, first he says, we will have to get that final goal. Even Vishnu Sahasranamam, he has written a Bhashyam. There also he is written Harivamsa, he has quoted. Finally, that is what Narayana, that is the final goal we will have to take it. The Ishtaka, all these Devatas, etymologically, finally they get into the knowledge of the Brahman. That is apprehension of the Brahman, not the comprehension. That Brahman, when you are being, Sa chapi tat pratyat, Sa chapi pratyavadat, Sa chapi tat pratyavadat, Yata yuktam. Yama says, now he is answering, he is answering to him. I have told you this, you are getting it. Ata asya mrityuhu punaha eva aha tushtaya. Because finally Mrityu will not be approaching you. He was so happy that he has grasped everything to the detail. Sacha api tat pratyavadat. He says, Yama, you have got, I told you, you have grasped it so well. Repeated verbatim everything as it was explained. Not only that, without missing anything and all. Ata asya mrityuhu puna eva aha tushtaha. Tushtaha in the sense, I am so happy that you grasped it so well. He is over and above giving him the boon. He is having given the boon. He has grasped it so well. He said, I am so happy. He is delighted that the Shishya is able to get everything to the point, missing anything and all. That is what every guru would like to. That he has got. Nachiketa is such a Shishya. The idea is you have got to be in whatever you have been doing, whatever level you are pursuing. Don't be a wishy-washy. Focus totally and get the full concentration for getting the full benefit of it. You've got to be a Nachiketa. Then Yama himself appreciates. You got it. Tushtaha. Tushtaha in the sense so happy, delightful to have a Shishya like that. Then he goes into the 1.1.16. This is the most important mantra. We will just recite it and take the just seed meaning of it. The detailed meaning we will go, because it is going to take a long time for this particular. This 1.1.6 is in your page number 21. Tamabravit Priyamano Mahatma. To him, the Lord Yama says, I am so delighted. Priyamano, Mahatma, because he is not an ordinary Atma who has come into, because once you have come only as a soul, Atma. Your body is left in the earth. So you have come. Tam Abramit Priyamano Mahatma Varam Tame Hyatya Dadami Bhuyaha. So Varam Tadami. He says, I am going to give you one extra bonus Vara. Varam Dadami. You are so great in grasping it. I have never expected you to have that, because you are an Atma who has come, Mahatma, and you are getting it so well. I will give you one more boon as a bonus. You have not asked for it from me, but I am giving it to you. See, you have got to be very careful. Yama is also testing the waters still further. Even after grasping it, what is that purpose he will be using it for? What is that focus he will be having it for? Whether he will still be, because having some slip ups, he doesn't want anything to be left out, because it's not only that, it is not only theoretically you know everything, practically also, you go to the lab and show whatever, like as we used to have in our science. We used to have a theoretical exam also and the practical exam also. The practical exam, if it's a picric acid, you will have to produce picric acid and show with the quality. Then only, you are. So Yama tests him further. He doesn't leave him. See, it shows Adhyatma, you cannot take it for granted. You can go to any Acharya, I want to learn Divya Prabandham, I want to learn this Veda, I want to learn the Upanishad. They will all, because first, test you and then slowly they will start. As they are starting, they will also observe you. How eagerly you are, how grasping power of yours is there, how focused you are. Then only they will go about, and otherwise they will not be wasting the time. And because finally when you are giving it, if you are not going to use it for the purpose for which it is meant for, it is a sort of, they will be getting, the entire ill effect of it. Because that is why they want to test the Shishya. And we will be seeing, one particular Upanishad, which possibly, we will be taking it up, after the next Upanishad. Sat Prashna Upanishad. It's called Prashna Upanishad. So Prashna Upanishad, Pippalada, one great Rishi is there. He is famous, everywhere known and all. And 6 people came from different places and asked him 6 questions. Sat Prashna. 6 questions are being asked. Sat Prashna Upanishad. Pippalada, what he says, when everyone has come to him, he has not started immediately, come on, because I will take you as a Shishya. He said, let us wait for 1 year. Why 1 year? Is it that, he is going to test the Shishya only and all? Not only that, because they have all come knowing, he is the greatest Rishi, they want to learn from him. They might have heard about him, but they also should know whether there is really that capable a Rishi as they have thought of. So they can also test the waters of Guru for 1 year. You can see, you might have heard about, he is a great professor, but the professor also wants you, because he wants to test the Shishya to test him also. Because you might have heard, but am I worthy of your, so much of a focus you have come here? See, that is what our Sanatana Dharma is still continuing. It's not that, Gurus have taken for granted and they said, whatever I have to do, you have to do. I am telling you, you should do. It's not like that. You also can test the Guru whether he is worthy of the Guru which you thought of. This is exactly happening in this particular mantra. So when he said, Tam abravit priyamano mahatmanaha varam tave hyadya adya dadami bhuyaha. Varam dadami, because I will give it to you. Adyaha, because you are so great. Mahatmaha, you have grasped it. When he gives it, he gives all sorts of, whenever you want, someone to oblige, you always praise him. You want to government officer and you tell him, sir, after you came only things have been set right. You will tell, it may not be the case. But then you will tell him, so that at least your job is get done. You go to an income tax officer, will you try to, you will say, after you have only solved, so many pending assessments you have completed, you will tell him, so that your assessment gets done. So likewise, here also says, he gives test the waters. And then he says, Tava eva namna bhavita ayam agnihi. Because the entire Agni, since you have grasped so well, the Swargiya Agni henceforth will be known only by your name, Nachiketa Agni. That is the bonus vara he gives, Nachiketa Agni. Shrinkam cha imam. Next word he says, known this, when he gives, all those things. So that, Nachiketa will be taken and look, because I came here to learn. Now he is going to tell, because suppose you go and find, some professor who is teaching you a particular segment of, the modern physics. He says, you have become so, you are so wonderful, and now henceforth I will name this class after you. You will be so pleased because I am so great a student, that he is telling like that. And that means that humility is taken away. Vidya Vinaya Sampanna. If you don't have it, you will not get Vidya. You will become Avidya. You are continuously tested like that. It is not so easy to get the Swargiya Agni and all. So when he said, Taviya Namna Bhaviya Yamagnihi Shrinkam. Shrinkam in the sense it's a chain. Shrinkam Che Imam Aneka Rupam. Aneka Rupam, here it means it is gold. In Advaita, when the philosophy is being taught, it is always that you see a chain, you see a bangle, you see anything else, stud, anything you see it. You see different forms, but they are all having one common factor, that is gold. So to teach Brahman is the final substratum of everything. He is the gold behind all these ornaments. That is how Advaita starts. Here in this Upanishad, what they are telling, Shrinkam Cha Imam Aneka Rupam. Aneka multitude, because you will get Shrinkam multicolored, the chain, he gives it to you. What is that he is giving to you? Grihana, multiple colors, you can wear it. Grihana. When you have it, it is going to be the present I am going to give it to you. Aneka Rupam. Aneka Rupam is made of gold. The very, very sort of the costly item I am going to give it to you. You have it and all. It is again testing the waters. We will see how when he is giving you a bonus vara and when he is giving you a chain, golden chain, by the repository of the entire knowledge, not only that, he says he is going to name the Swargiya Agni as a Nachiketa Agni. He would have been pleased. He wants to test how much he is pleased. Why is he telling that? And anyone else in his place, would have been, look, I went for this, but I got all these things, because of my ability to grasp. That Vinayam will be going off. Vidya Vinaya Sampanna will be going off. Once Vidya Vinaya Sampanna goes off, you will be falling into avidya. You are being tested that. How it is being tested, how Nachiketa works out, you will all see in the forthcoming session. Because that is that next 2-3 mantras are going to take almost maybe more than 2 sessions. Because they have got so much of importance in keeping ourselves, because the focus is not something what we know in the present world. It is the yogic world. When you are getting into the full flight, how Nachiketa, 7-year-old, he shows us the way. We are way past 70s. We have got much to learn from him. We will continue to learn from next class. With this, I will complete, the today's session, and then we will go for our, the meditation with one more suktam. The suktam is Ambarini Suktam. We will go for that. With this, we will conclude this today's session. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Punaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.